There are several countries that have specific regulations for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Here are a few examples. United States. Regulations on Bitcoin in the United States vary depending on the jurisdiction. In general, the U.S. government has been relatively receptive to Bitcoin, but has also taken steps to regulate its use. For example, the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, considers Bitcoin as property and imposes taxes on its purchase, sale, and exchange. Some states, such as Texas, have specific legislation that allows the use of Bitcoin as a means of payment. European Union. The European Union, EU, does not have specific regulation for Bitcoin, but has consistently addressed the issue. In general, the EU has been relatively receptive to Bitcoin and has allowed its use to develop freely, but has also taken steps to ensure that cryptocurrencies are used safely and regulated. For example, the European Banking Authority, EBA, has issued warnings about the risks associated with Bitcoin, but has also recognized the potential of cryptocurrencies to innovate the financial sector. Japan. Japan is one of the most receptive countries to Bitcoin and has created specific legislation to regulate its use. In 2017, Japan began to consider Bitcoin as a legitimate form of payment and regulated cryptocurrency companies according to financial services laws. Since then, Japan has been one of the world's leading markets for cryptocurrencies. Australia. Australia has been relatively receptive to Bitcoin and has created regulations to regulate its use. In 2017, the Australian Taxation Office, ATO, issued guidance to help taxpayers understand how taxes apply to transactions involving cryptocurrencies. In addition, Australia has a financial services law that applies to cryptocurrency companies, requiring them to register and follow specific rules. These are just a few examples of countries that have specific regulations for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It is important to note that regulations can vary widely from country to country and can change over time. Some other examples of countries that have specific regulations for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies include Switzerland. Switzerland has been a leader in regulating cryptocurrencies and has created specific legislation to regulate their use. In 2018, the Swiss Financial Markets Supervisory Authority, FINMA, published guidelines on the subject, establishing rules for cryptocurrency companies and defining when financial regulation is applicable. Singapore. Singapore has been relatively receptive to Bitcoin and has created specific regulations to regulate its use. In 2014, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, issued guidelines for businesses dealing with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, setting out the requirements for anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. Canada. Canada has been relatively receptive to Bitcoin and has created specific regulations to regulate its use. In 2014, the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, issued guidance on the tax treatment of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, stating that they should be treated as a commodity for tax purposes. In addition, the Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Centre of Canada, FINTRAC, has issued guidance on how it applies to businesses dealing with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.